Cool. Then we just start. So yeah, we have a few questions that we would like to discuss in relation to the topic. I think it would probably make sense to begin with a general overview on the matters of infrastructure. Let's say what infrastructure trends have been high scores, what have been game overs, how to optimize infrastructure to avoid costs, get maximum scalability, response time, and performance. Lahav?
Hi everybody, good morning. I'm Lahav. So I can represent a major part of our customers who are heavily using the cloud. And definitely we are seeing a major migration from traditional infrastructure, on-premises co-location to the cloud. The cloud is definitely providing the scale and the freedom to change and the freedom to try things and the freedom to fail at a very low cost relatively of failure. So for gamers, for those who need the speed and the agility, definitely I think the new trend is cloud. As we see it at least, it allows those customers to really boost very, very fast.
Excellent. Nir, I thought you wanted to say
So
something.
I think that the trend is going more to a platform that will enable you not only to build your game or your application on the cloud, but also how to engage with users, how to grow your audience, and essentially how to monetize that. So Elad spoke about the cloud, the gaming economy, and first of all, data is very important, as he said, and I think that if you are enabled not only to build your game, but to analyze it constantly, real time, that enables you to fail fast and start again and do it better every moment. So I think that you need to search for a platform that really enables you all those components.
Yeah. Basically, as we see it, as we've seen it on different cases of customers, the real answer is hybrid, meaning, as Lav said, the movement from hosting providers, co-location providers to an infrastructure as a service. And as we said, by the way, it's also bare metal and virtual service to enable elasticity on one side and high performance on the other. And as Neil said, the trend to use platform as a service is rising, meaning why should you implement a service if you can just consume it? And basically what that enables you as a gaming company, as a gaming customer, is to focus on the game itself and not just maintaining your own infrastructure and your own services internally. Now, game overs, as you said, are I think the hosting the hosting provider. Sorry.
We work in this area mainly with forex company, binary option companies, and the trend, of course, is cloud telephony.
Okay.
I see that many of our customers are using our public cloud telephony. Very easy to establish, as people said. Very easy to have call centers all around the world. You know, in Africa, in East Europe, we see a lot of call centers are being established. Some company use private cloud. The big ones are using private cloud, using VMware and this kind of infrastructures. And of course, another thing that is going on is platform. I mean, you mentioned platforms, and what I mean is more trading platforms. Very popular right now.
All right. And I just wanted to mention, if anyone in the audience feels like contributing with questions or comments, you're welcome. Just let us know. All right. In terms of what cloud is giving us as those new things, innovative things, talk about third platform of computing. It is transforming IT much faster than the first, meaning mainframe, or the second client versus server platforms ever did. It looks like this has tremendous implications for the infrastructure. So let's discuss the shift of platforms, where we're going to. what is considered improved monitoring, new tools, and next level structure within the cloud.
So, as you mentioned, you need to build that game, app, whatever it is, and you need those tools to enable you to do that very fast and very easy. So, from the development of the game, what engines do you use? Unity, others, and of course, how do you scale it very fast to a lot of users? And how do you test it also? It's very important. So you need to have the right tools to enable you to test to all mobile platforms, as mentioned before, Android, iOS, even Windows Mobile, all of those. So you need a great platform that enables you also to test it in real life, screen size, different size. Second screen is a new trend that everybody is looking for. So I think that all those tools that enables the developers to do it very fast, to focus on the application and not on the infrastructure, really the tools that you are looking for. And also, right after you launch it, then you need to be able to analyze it and enable you to go faster to the audience that is more relevant for you. So of course, analyzing the data of average revenue per user or average revenue for paying user, and who do you need to approach first, and where does the revenue comes from. I think that enables you also to focus on the app and improving the app. So all those tools are part of the platform that enables you to do it very easy. So the developers actually need only to focus on the game, on evolving the game and the audience. Either it's social or just collocations with users. So I think that this is the most important part of having those tools as part of the platform that enables you to do it quickly, fast, and scalable.
All right. Asaf?
Yes, I can add to that two critical areas that we see as part of the development, a part of the shift that represents the industry. One of it is DevOps, meaning the continuous deployment of new features for games or even the new game itself continuously. One time we've had a discussion about, and the example was Facebook that releases new features on a daily basis and even hourly basis using continuous integration and continuous deployment. This is something that, as I see it, in the gaming industry is critical. Also, as Elad said, the mobile platforms are critical and are even going first. If a few years back, you would see first the web platform, the laptop/PC, and now the mobile platform is the first platform that you should go to. Now we have those two tools integrated in our platform, so you can do extremely fast DevOps, and you can go extremely fast mobile platform development within the platform that we provide as a service.
All right.
Yeah, so I'll continue with the DevOps. That definitely the cloud is providing a whole new set of tools for, it used to be the IT guys, the operation guys, but as of today, I mean, those guys who are really operating the platform are people with a good IT knowledge, but eventually there are much more developers right now, and they are using those new APIs, new tools that the cloud provides. So they start from managing the infrastructure parts through APIs, and definitely continuing to the platform and services and plugging in their pieces of software or pieces of applications to the platform. And I think the main change, and which is we're seeing it's mature to do real production and really heavy usage today, is those new set of tools that allows you to spin instances, to migrate traffic, to move data, to store data, to query data, to do anything at a matter of a click or a couple of API calls. So I think there's a major transition in the industry where it's more of development, DevOps, but with a very, very strong knowledge of IT, because they need to have the knowledge, but definitely need to have the capabilities of the development lifecycle and coding.
I want to proceed with the API thing. I'm sure you all remember just a few years ago how if you wanted to have telephony in your office, you would call Bezeq or another big company, and they would come with a big box and install it, and you wouldn't know. It's like a black box. And nowadays it's all on the cloud. I mean, it's just you press a button, and all your co-locations are working on the same PBX call centers. And with the APIs, we integrate our solutions to Panda, for instance, which is a trading platform, and everything is smoothly going behind scenes. So you have a call center, for instance. There's a lot of acquisition call centers in the forex industry and binary option industry, and it's all automatic. It's the whole API is working behind the scenes, and people just receiving calls which are outbound calls using behind scenes dialers all through this API. So it's very efficient, very easy to implement, very fast to implement, and it's it brings a lot of opportunities for companies.
I see. Interesting. With all these assets and tools that you just mentioned, is cloud really ready for its prime time? I mean, gaming, even gambling on the cloud. What is happening there?
Yeah, we see a shift there. Currently in Israel, the gaming industry is very developed, and we see everybody going, at least exploring the cloud, if not already there. I think that what defines the gaming industry is it's fearless to try new technologies. It needs to try new technologies because it's extremely fast-paced. So basically, the cloud enables that. So the simple answer to your question is cloud ready for prime time. The simple answer is yes, and it's already there.
Nir, I remember you had an interesting case for that by Secret. You just told me.
Oh yeah, so
Please share.
well, everybody knows the news on Secret. You can disargue if you like the app or not, but you cannot argue the fact that since it launched July 2014, in a few months they got more than 50 million users. So in order to do that, they really need a platform that enables them to scale and to be able to reach so many users eventually. The bad news for them is that they are closed, but that's because of the content. But if you take a look at that and look at the platform, then you see that what enabled them to reach so many users and to engage them to that platform. And for your questions about all those digital entertainment, so of course they are most welcome to the platform. And I think, as he mentioned before, cloud is already a fact there. So all the major players, either it's King.com, Rovio, Tubtail, even Jelly Button that was mentioned before, all of them running in the cloud, analyzing their data in the cloud, so it enables them to do it very fast and to take decisions on spot because they're doing it online. So I don't see it as a trend or as a buzzword, but as a fact. And you see that with all successful gaming, how they booming and how they're boosting, it's because that the platform that they use enables them to do that.
I just noticed we have a comment in the audience. We're most welcome after the panelists share their opinions.
Yeah, so I wouldn't argue about gambling or not gambling with the terms because I'm not a lawyer. So, but definitely I'm seeing from our side that we're working with lots of digital media, entertainment, whatever, around interacting with users on the cloud platforms. As Nir said, they are very welcome. I think the cloud platform definitely allows them to scale and to do things very fast, and as Nir said, to boom and to change the numbers. We are seeing a lot of activities in their media, even the rich media, whether it's streaming, whether it's a TV. So if cloud is ready for prime time, I think definitely it is. It is showing. Just look at the numbers of at the massive scale that the cloud platforms are serving these days. So to my opinion, at least, there's no doubt it's there. And if you measure it by the uptime of those applications, I think there's definitely these numbers which are very close to 100%. It is a dramatic change, at least from the number point of view, and also from the effort that those companies are spending it. Those companies who are operating the games, operating the entertainment, they're spending very, very little on keeping this thing up compared to what's required to do that. So yeah, definitely cloud is delivering these days.
He mentioned gaming versus gambling. I would mention investing and trading versus gambling, which is another angle. Yeah, everything is going into there. It's already there. It's prime time. There are, various ways to do it, but it's there definitely. I mentioned the big PBX, as we say in Hebrew, Merkazia, that was installed in Israel many years ago. But now people work from home all over the world, and you have the managers, the managers of the call centers. They have their own BI, real-time BI, on their desktop. They can see everything, and doesn't matter where everybody is, because even at home right now we've got very broadband, almost in all Western countries at least.
Okay, looks like all four positive. So what does the audience have to say? I saw somebody raise his hand. Yes, please. Introduce yourself. What's your question?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to start with that, with the unbiased, and then go for Ivan. So on the unbiased side, I think that specifically in your kind of industry, and we've talked about it earlier, so there's a lot of questions that should be asked, whether it's regulation, whether it's performance, whether it's location, whether it's specific technology that you need, specific platforms that you need, and specific services. Now, it's not true to say that everybody has everything, okay? And in each use case, you would find probably a cloud service provider that it is the best fit for you. You just need to understand what everybody is offering. There is no escape from learning the market and take a decision. That was done by.
Yeah, so definitely there's a very good variety of options these days to choose where to start your application. You'll see that most cloud platforms, they are becoming very much the same, providing a similar set of features with a certain variety. But if you need to choose, I think you should mostly start from your use case and whether you have the right people to do that. Because cloud platforms, I have to say, they are good. I mean, there are slightly differences on performance, on stability. But at first, I think you need people to run it, because it will take you some time to get to the extreme cases. So the first thing is time to market, as I see it from our customers, and do things fast, try, and fail first, just do something. So first is the people who you can work with, whether you have the right people to do what you need. From a cost point of view, I think they are becoming very much the same. There are different strengths on different platforms. Some you need to do upfront commitments, some you don't. But it's very much depending from a cost point of view. I wouldn't take this as the first decision point. And what the second thing would be after people is whether those new features that you want to use, because the cloud platforms are coming with new features every other day almost, especially for the apps, which are all those platform services. So the people and the combination of those platforms would be my first choice. So that's what I think. And just remember that you maybe don't want to be completely locked in. just have the freedom with evolvement if you go towards the instances. So try put yourself on the platform with a Docker area so you can have the freedom to migrate or do a change. But overall, I use the platform as much as you can to just speed you up with the right people.
Thank you, Lahav. Let's see what Rami has to say to add to that.
I agree. I think the main thing is your core competence. If you have people who are very, good, you can even go and I see companies that build their own private cloud using VMware, using Linux platforms. But it depends on the people that you have and what kind of core competence do they have. Because if you're working B2B, sometimes private cloud would be cheaper, but it depends. Yeah, sure.
Mine happened to be broken. Thank you for a question. I hope you got a most profound, unbiased answer. Yeah, to move on, we've just discussed what cloud has to offer in a positive way. Still, there are critical areas, things like connectivity issues, troubles with game delivery, testing before releasing, cross-platform adaptation, and of course security, or we can put it as privacy matters. I'd really want you to add maybe a brief answer to this one before we move on. We're, I think, 15 minutes left, please. Give your inputs on the critical areas of cloud.
Yeah, sure. Security, privacy, these are very critical. As we see, I said we work B2B. We work with companies, small, medium-sized, big-sized companies. They're very worried from their perspective about their customers. Some of them are used to the old-fashioned style where they had their own, as I said, box in the office, on-premises computer or whatever, and now it's everything, it's virtual. They don't know where it is, so they're very worried about that. They're worried about hackers, stop their telephony system from working because it's in the cloud. So another thing is the recording of the calls. We work in call centers, and regulated companies must keep their recording. And if the recording is on the cloud, they're worried how to do it. We use, by the way, for some companies, we use hybrid cloud, where all the recordings and all the customers are going to their own premises computers, but the main switch and the main server is on the cloud.
All right. I think
So
you're the
the
rightest person
security.
to ask in terms of connectivity. Well, in some countries, 3G, 4G is not really available. So what kind of alternatives do we have to, enable gamers with a quality product?
For telephony, from my side, you use the PSTN, you use the public telephony system. So getting and calling people all around the world is no problem. You don't use in the last step, in last mile, you don't use internet, you use telephony. So there's no problem. But from the company side, I think almost all countries, for offices, they can get very high broadband connectivity. So we have companies that have call centers in Africa, in East Europe, in Romania, Bulgaria, all over. Philippines is very trendy right now for Israeli companies. They build call centers there.
Interesting. Nir, felt like you wanted to add.
So related to the security, privacy, and regulation, I think all cloud platforms are seeking to have all the certification that there are. Either it's PSS, PSI, ISO, all of them enabled to enable customers from all different segments to work on the cloud. And I think that's a major trend that goes for every cloud platform that invest a lot in security, also to gain the trust of their customers and enable them to do things very securely in a privacy way. I also think that in terms of regulation, we also see even highly regulated industries going through this phase that they are evaluating cloud platforms and cloud vendors. They're starting to move some of the workloads forward. And I think that I mentioned it to you. I just want to quote Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA. Just like 3 months ago, he said, "I'm not a pro of sports gambling, but I'm a realist." So he also understands, and he pushed forward how the regulation deals with those kinds of issues and how to push them forward and to enable them to go and grow fast. So I think that all cloud platforms are dealing with that issues. All of them are doing tremendous work towards that, and it's improving day by day. And I think that you can see even very traditional industries are going towards the cloud and enable them to do it very easy and very quickly.
Despite the critical factors.
Yeah, so with your permission, I want to take it from a customer point of view, not from the cloud platform point of view. So you mentioned about risks, and you started with connectivity. So I'm looking back a few years ago. Every customer who wanted to have their own infrastructure need to manage their networking, their BGP. It used to be a whole teams that were struggling and having really hard time with managing connectivity. So as it seems today from the real life, that the cloud providers networking team does it so well. They manage the traffic, they optimize it, they make it as close as possible to users. So if this is a risk, to my feeling it seems to be the cloud is reducing the risk of connectivity and making things faster. We have done testing from all over the world for different applications, and we could see that on the cloud platform somehow with those that provide connectivity to different countries like Google, they are wired all over the globe. So you get connectivity to the Google platforms much better than you sometimes get to your local infrastructure in the country. So I definitely see connectivity as a great improvement for the customer. From the security point of view, if you need to protect your data and you need to build a security team that will protect the infrastructure, for me as a customer, it's so much easier to rely on the vendors, on the cloud vendors teams that's all they have on their mind. Their security teams, they have a huge team of hundreds of people. All they look after is security, and no matter how big as a customer I'm going to be, I don't think I'll be ever able to spend that amount of resources to put this security in place on traditional data centers, private clouds, or even a co-location. And on top of that, those vendors are providing you with the auditing and the facilities and the infrastructure to safely and to secure go in, protect the data, encrypt it. So overall, as it seems to me, at least from the FO point of view and the customer point of view, definitely security on the cloud seems to be easier. Anyway, we need to trust a third party to run the data center. We are using co-locations, so cloud just reduce and helps any of our customers with their security and managing their privacy.
Asaf.
Yes, I want to add to what Neil said and to describe two things that we do that actually relate to that specific challenge. First, the connectivity issue. We've seen, and Elad said it himself, a huge demand in the Asian Pacific market. So basically, we and others have increased the footprint in those countries, in those regions. The other one is the need for privacy and the need for even adhering to regulations. This is exactly why there's a dedicated environment that you can have as a service to enable you to deal with that kind of either regulation, demand, or need. Yeah.
Excellent. We got just a few minutes left. I wonder if there are any more questions in the audience before we wrap up. All right. Are you sure? Okay. Well, then maybe just to summarize, it looks like, well, definitely the cloud is ready. Even the critical aspects are not really of any kind of major challenge as far as I can hear from the comments. Just a general overview on innovation and, what product innovation, of course, in relation to cloud, do you foresee will impact the iGaming industry in the upcoming 12, 24 months?
Yeah, actually, something that we've started to see in the last couple of months and will probably be a major change is the use of GPUs instead of CPUs, specifically in the iGaming industry, meaning you can actually do the rendering of the video in the platform itself and just stream it to the end user. So basically, that would enable the customer, the provider, to have higher performance and with lower cost. This is one thing. The other one is the platform. More and more companies are going to mobile as the first platform. And this is something that, as I see it, will change the game plan for the two years ahead.
Nir?
I think innovation or choosing an innovative platform is also very, very important, because you can see, like, and the question was asked before, how do I choose a cloud platform? And I think when you look at the platforms, you need to see what do you have today and where do you move forward, and what tools will you be able to use at that platform that will enable you to do it easier. So I think what we are doing at Google is actually externalizing our own tools that we are used for all the other products like YouTube, Search, Maps, Google Play for Android. So I think that the amount of innovations that we are putting into the releases that we put into the cloud so our customers will be able to use, this is something that I think that as a uniqueness, because actually we are just externalizing what we are using in order to be able to gain more users, to analyze their data on real time, and to reach global scale. So I think that innovation is really a very important part when you look at the cloud platform.
Thank you. Rami?
Yeah, what I see in the last few months, the trends that I see in the last few months are mainly very thorough and detailed integration between platforms. And when I talk about platforms, I talk about, for instance, trading platforms. When you have a very good integration between, for instance, our call center telephony platforms and trading platforms. Of course, everything is on the cloud. You can have very good BI, very good real-time BI. All the managers can analyze stuff on the spot. We just did a project with TradeSmarter, who's a trading platforms, working a lot in Asia also, where we put a marketing automation module that enable the telephony work very smoothly with the CRM trading, and everything is going automatically. So this is another another trend, I think.
Okay, let's give the last 3 minutes to Lahav and see what he's going to say.
So I think the major innovation comes from the availability of platform services you can just plug your application to and try things very, very fast. Second thing is the ability to deal with huge amount of data. The freedom to try things and to crunch the data over and over with different algorithms for different purposes is something which allows a true innovation. On top of it, the decoupling of the application from the infrastructure for those who choose not to use a pure platform, where you can use those containers. So definitely this is something that allows the innovation and allow you to try and move things and move between clouds. So that creates a lot of innovation. And the last thing is the automation. I think for those who want to move fast and be able to innovate, the automation is a very key element, and definitely all the platforms and the technologies available today for every one of us to consume is just allowing this speed of innovation.
Thank you. Well, it looks like we're right on time. Still, one more minute. If there was something that we haven't covered today in the audience or in the panel, it's your last chance to bring it up.
We didn't mention the buzz big data.
Well, big data is a big topic, I guess. It's not a small task to discuss.
Everybody has to say it.
Yeah, if you have an input just to cover like a major trends, again, to bring up.
I
Yes, you're welcome.
I think it's a big trend, but still, I think there's a lot to improve in that. I mean, it's very promising, but not every small and medium-sized company can use Hadoop. You know, it's very hard. It takes a lot of investment in good people, data scientists, and people like that, and it's not easy for small companies and medium-sized.
Yeah, so I'll add to that. So these days I'm seeing companies that don't want to do Hadoop. I mean, they already have platforms that they can throw the data to and get answers. So big data is definitely, I think, at least from what I'm seeing, the cloud allows people to do huge data at a very low effort. If you look at the BigQuery as an example from our experience, you can just stream tons of data to it and start ask questions very fast and relatively pay less for what you could afford ever on your any other traditional infrastructure. If you go the other directions of the other platform, like on Amazon example, Redshift allows you to stream tons of data and ask questions. So I think these days, with the evolvement of platforms and Sparks as a services already and Hadoop as a service, if you really want the big data is on the cloud. I'm seeing huge enterprises who are dealing with huge amount of data, not really on the gaming side. They are moving their big data to the cloud because it's much cheaper. It's much faster to do. So for the gaming, I guess that most of them will do it on the cloud.
That was an excellent way to summarize and probably put a dot to our discussion here. We're right on time. Thank you, gentlemen. Huge applause to our panelists. Thank you for your attention.
Of course. 1 second. You can applause, maybe, during that.